Everyone, Chef Mark with Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom. Welcome to my laboratory. I am here answering questions that I'm getting from comments on YouTube. Now, if you're watching this at Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom's YouTube channel, make sure you head over to my personal YouTube channel, Chef Mark Helix. Make sure you like and subscribe there too. And if you're asking questions in the comments, I'm more likely to see them, and I'll go ahead and I'll make sure I respond. So I got a question from one of my viewers, and that is reviewing sharpening with a steel. This is a steel. You might have one of these in your knife block. This actually doesn't sharpen, it hones. So what that means is honing is if you've got bird edge, right, as you use your knife, it starts to get kind of ragged at a microscopic level. This knocks down the burrs and returns the angle, returns the knife back to smooth. But your knife, as you use it, tends to get pitched left or right, and this returns that angle back to the center. So it removes the burrs and brings it back to center, making your knife feel sharp again. If your knife is dull, you can do this to your blue in the face. You're never going to sharpen it. At that point, you're going to want to go ahead and either use a stone or some sharpening device. And sharpening, of course, is removing metal, changing the geometry of the blade, and creating that sharp edge once again. Okay, so how do we do this? A couple things are going on here. There's a couple different ways to use this, but this is how I like to teach how to use this machine here, or this device rather. Okay, so I'm right-handed. The right side's easy. I like to use this part here, this hilt, as kind of to set the angle, right? And this one has like a narrow and a wide angle. This would be appropriate for this knife. From the base of the knife, semi-circle down to the tip. When you cross over, it gets tricky because the natural inclination is to kind of lose your angle. So what you want to think of is as you're coming down, you also want to rotate your wrist out just so slightly so that you maintain that angle. Same thing on this side. Kind of almost think like you're peeling away as you're coming down. Because if you don't do that, then you end up losing that angle and your knife's not going to feel very consistent. The good news is that even if you're doing it wrong, you're still going to help your knife out. But to do it right, base of the knife, kind of all the way down, maintaining that angle from the base of the knife all the way to the tip. Common mistakes are doing only half the knife and changing the angle. You can also do it this way. So when I'm doing it this way, I like to use my thumb almost as like kind of like a block there to help set the angle, and then on my finger on this side. Or you can go away. This one you want to be careful. Going away, don't hit anybody, you could hurt them. So 5 or 6 times on each side, and then if you rub your finger over the knife, you can feel, this is nice in the center, but you can actually feel like, oh, it's pulled off to one side or the other. And then 5 or 6 times, you can give it some good pressure. You don't have to be gentle on this. Wipe it off before you use it. These tend to be slightly magnetic, so you're not going to be throwing little pieces of metal everywhere. They'll stick to that. You still want to wipe your knife off before you chop. Ooh, that feels nice and sharp. We're ready to keep chopping. So that's a great way to maintain your knife. Anytime you're getting ready to cut something, why not pull out your steel? Every time your knife hesitates, grab this, sharpen your knife up, and you're going to find that you don't need to sharpen them as often. If you're really, really diligent about using your steel and keeping things nice and honed, you might only need to sharpen your knives once or twice a year. This is Chef Mark. I'm with Appliance Factory. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe.